buy my chicken fried. A cold beer on a Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right. And the radio.
Today on Master Debatin', we tackle the quandary that has put lovers of the chicken wing on opposing ends since the Anchor Bar in Buffalo brought these deep-fried delicacies to life. Do you stand out from the crowd, make a lot of noise, and beat to the heart of your own drum for Team Drumstick? Or do you keep things cool, perhaps like to stay classic and on a flat-level surface for Team Flatwing? I'm Parker Feldman, and we'll answer all these questions and more as our teams fight to put the wind beneath their wings. And first to join me at the dish is Evan Baird. Evan, tell me why you are on the winning side of today's debate before we even formally begin.
Yeah, simply put, I'm on the winning side because I have the correct answer. I refuse to believe that anybody could possibly come in here and argue that a flat wing is better than a drum.
All right, it's a bold take out of the gate, but I'll go next to Colin. Continuing on, Colin, where's the best wing spot that you've ever tried, and what type of wing did you eat the most while you were there?
Yeah, I don't know what got Evan so upset today because flats are incredible. I went to Brunner's. I was at a Hilbert football game. It was a big win for the Hawks, but, I got flats all the way. You know how it is, Parker.
Yeah, certainly, and we'll move over back to Team Drums with Anthony. And Anthony, if Vegas had your type of wing as the betting favorite, what do you think the odds would be going into this discussion?
Minus 5,000. It's so simple. Drums are better than flats, and anyone that picks a flat, honestly, I think they need to be researched.
Researched. Interesting phrase there. We'll go now to Belle finally. And Belle, describe the feeling that you'll have if your team is the wingingest for the debate today.
Honestly, I'm not going to be too surprised because I have plenty of reasons why flats are better than drums. I don't know what these two have in their heads.
Well, we'll start on the flat side, Belle, and I'll go to Colin first. Colin, visually, when you've got the plate of wings in front of you, you're going for the flats first. Kind of tell me why the appeal is there when it's presented to you at the table.
You see, Parker, I like to think of myself as a grown man. I wake up in the morning, I put my pants on one leg at a time, and I go to work. I put a suit and tie on, unlike the chumps at the other end of the desk. I'm a grown man. I have two hands. Am I going to sit there and just use one like a barbarian taking bits and chomps out of a chicken leg? No. I'm going to use both. I'm going to work all the way around the wing like a respectable man, unlike these two guys. What the hell are you thinking?
All right, so I do have a question for you then, because you mentioned using both hands here.
I love
so
it.
let's say that we're at your average party here. Let's be honest here. That's where I think we would see a lot of wings. You mean to tell me you're eating a flat? Both of your hands are now soaked in whatever sauce you put on it. By the way, if you dip a flat, you automatically have to have one of your hands touching the dip, unless by some miracle you get it in the middle of the flat. Let's be honest here. I don't think that's possible.
Belle, is this guy out of a paper
Anyways,
towel?
anyways, you see your friend walk in there. You go to dap him up. Your hand is covered in barbecue sauce because you're eating flats. That is two hands. He walks up to you, says, "Yo, what's up?" "Oh, sorry, I have to wipe my hand off. I'm eating flats right now."
Well, Evan, before we get to you, Belle, and I think this is the direction that you're going, he's talking about holding on to it with one hand. I think flats, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've got the built-in two sides to it that you can work with. Just talk to us about that.
Now, okay, this isn't medieval times. We're not creating a mess. There's napkins everywhere, and I'm not dapping up my friend with a messy hand. It's called being polite.
Period.
Now, realistically, I can get an angle and dump the flat into the little jar of sauce. It's not like I'm smearing it everywhere. Even I can grab it from one side and pour the sauce on top of the flat and just bite into it. Whether with a drumstick, it's falling on the side, and also it's not as crispy as a flat.
I need to say something real quick.
All right, go ahead.
You're getting more sauce on the drum wing. As that, I think I'm preemptively thinking about it.
You get more sauce, but you look at the actual meat content that you're getting from the wing. You're not getting as much meat as you do on a drumstick because the drum has all that meat around. But when you look at the flat, you're getting a lot of the other stuff in there, the cartilage, the fat, that sort of thing. That's throwing it off, and that's stopping you.
Anthony, you're going to let the mainstream media tell you can't eat cartilage?
Okay, let's start things real quick, Colin.
I'm listening.
You started this off by saying about how great it was that you dressed up in a suit for this. You guys can't see his pants. It doesn't work with the suit. Let's get that
I'm not wearing
Sorry
pants.
we take
Sue
wings
me.
seriously.
You gotta have the full
Sorry.
uniformity throughout of it, and that's not what a flat gets you. A flat doesn't get you any uniformity, and that's the problem. if you ask a competitive eater what kind of wing do they want, they're going with a drum because it's easier to eat and it gets you the most meat.
You are
are
far and
Colin.
away from a competitive
Tell him,
eater.
Colin.
Well, let's wait 1 second here, Colin, because we'll get back to Team Flats in a moment. But thus far, we've got some mild, medium, and hot takes to this point. But when we come back from break, it'll be time to throw the last bones in for one team, while another just might chicken out. Stay with us.
And a little bit of chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right.
You hear it, ladies? Ooh, there's only 3. These look good. Oh, you didn't get one. Here. I have both.
Sharing, it's the icing on the cake. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
So if you agree, have a drink with me. Raise your glasses for a toast to a little bit of chicken fried.
Welcome back to Master Debating. And before the break, tensions were certainly flaring between Team Drum and Team Flat. And I'm going to go back to Team Flat to start this off. Belle, let's go to you. Anthony was definitely talking about the amount of meat that comes on the bone for Team Drum, but I'm aware of a technique with the flats that you can split the two ends in part and get a little bit more bang for your buck. Kind of work with me on that here, because I think that's a critical missed element.
Now,
that they
yes,
weren't
a
bringing
lot
up.
of people forget that. Also, I feel like drums, they have too much meat, where the flats, you can get the crisp.
My
and
steak
the
is
meat.
too juicy.
No.
My lobster is too
All
buttery.
right, all right,
Oh
no.
man, we're complaining that it's too good.
Yeah,
Listen
no,
to her.
whoa. Let me get my point across, okay? Sometimes it's too much. Where flats, you don't get as full, okay? You can have more flats if you want to. Where drums, you can only have 2.
You
All right,
have
So you want to spend
realistically,
more
I
money
can have
on more
4
wings
flats.
to eat less food. That's what you're saying right now.
You're the one eating less food, even though they
You just
they
said that
cost
flats
the
are less
same
food.
probably. They
So if
cost
they
the
cost
same
the same and you're getting less food
no,
out of the flats,
I'm
why
go-
would you buy flats over drums?
I'm gonna eat more of the flats than I am the drums.
But
I'm
you
just
spent the
wasting
same
the
amount
drums.
of money on the same amount of wings. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna beg for my buck, sorry.
Team Drum, we're talking about kind of the equity in terms of what you're getting for the price of sale here. Let's go back to drums now, because I think an element in terms of the eating experience is if you like your wings crispy, I think Team Drums can certainly hold a candle in terms of to the ability of, with the amount of meat that comes with it, having a nice crispy wing. So is that part of sort of your reasoning here in terms of landing on this side versus Team Flats?
I think it has to be, and when you also think about it like this, you think of that drum right now. All that crispiness is on the top of it. That's the part that you're dipping. That's the best part of it, the wing by far. There is nothing a flat has that could possibly hold a candle to this.
The flat is well-rounded. Do you want someone that's all offense in the game of basketball? No, you want LeBron. You want the 3 levels of the wing. The flats have it all, and I got to tell you something here. Both of you guys have missed the main point of this argument. Yes, is a flat good? Yes, is a drum good? We all are talking about some really good chicken. The flat did it first. They were the OG.
They were the first
and then
ones.
the drum hopped on
The
the way.
first one.
So if they did it
Time out.
first,
The
Anthony's
first
calling
one.
timeout. Let's
Timeout.
go to
Sorry,
Anthony
we
here. We got
If-
first one being
Okay,
called.
let's say you're not at
Fuller,
a
30
place,
seconds.
something like Buffalo Wild Wings. You make wings at home, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is more likely that the meat is gonna fall off the bone when you make the flat than if you make the drum. And guess what
That's
you learn from
awesome.
that?
That's
You now all of a-
great.
you now all of a sudden have chicken soup, and that is not chicken wings. That is soup. You cannot sit
You don't
here
like when the
and
meat
tell
falls
me
off the
that you
bone?
want
Flats can just
soup
be anything
over
at this
wings.
point then.
Meat falling off the bone is like a sign of a delicacy. You can talk to anyone
In
about that. That is
barbecue.
awesome.
In barbecue.
Barbecue
not in
wings. Barbecue
Whoa.
wings.
Well, let's talk about
That's like
the phrase tendernism here, Colin, because
I'm
Team Flats might really have the advantage there. Well, let's get to that, and then I've got something for Team Drums after that.
The more tender, the better. I'm a tender contender. I'm listening to a bunch of tender pretenders over on the other side of this desk.
Whoa.
I'm going to relegate them because they don't know what the heck they're talking about, Parker. I'm flustered. I am frustrated because anyone who claims that a drum is better than a flat when it comes to the terms of tenderness, juiciness, and overall taste, those are 2 guys. I think they might be vegetarian.
Oh,
The vegetarian,
wow.
I find it a little bit hard to believe for Team Drum because when it comes to how versatile the drum is outside of just the chicken wing space, I see that fried chicken, the southern fried chicken, you even go to chicken dinners. The drums are typically a little bit more prescient there. Talk to me about that, Evan.
Yeah, so let's think of it like this. You know, you get a fried chicken, you have wings on it, you eat the wings, and you're like, realistically, that's probably the best part of that chicken. You're not going out of your way to make flats out of that. Simply put, you just don't really do that. Also, you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned that flats came first.
They did.
If they did, that's great. Why are they still the worst part of it then? If you've had longer to develop your game, you've
And
had
that's your
longer to be a
opinion.
better
No
wing.
one said,
how-
that's just you saying that.
This
No
is
one else
absolutely
said
me
that.
saying it because it's the truth.
No,
I'm
that's-
saying
that's-
right
that's
now,
one person.
That drum.
That's
One
how
person.
flats. That's how
I mean,
flats have been served.
you got-
Anthony, you've got a rebuttal to
I
that.
mean,
Flats
you
have
gotta
been served
understand
that way.
something. My mother, whenever she gets wings, she says to me, "Hey, make sure they get all flat." I call them up. I say, "Hey, I need these teriyaki wings all flat." And you know what they say? Really? Really? You want all flats? I'm sorry, Colin and Bell. There's just no world where I can believe that you want all flats.
Anthony,
versus-
Anthony,
No.
Colin, you got to keep those wings in check because I got to cut you guys off because certainly one team was winging it a little bit more than the other there. But who do you think kept the heat the most? My thanks to our guests today as our time in the kitchen has come to an end. But next on Master Debating, Professor Pete Johans stakes his claim that vodka beer is better than just beer by itself. Stay tuned.